Hello and welcome back to First Chapter. We're on our way to Revenue Village to follow up on our investigation on the missing Lind. We just ran into Agate Crossner for the first time, the Heavy Blade, a senior bracer that Cher is very familiar with, but Estelle and Joshua just met for the first time. I have to say, we're making very good time. Very, very good time. Alright, let's see what we can find out about this sighting. So what do you suggest? Should we just go talk to all the villagers? People would be suspicious of us if we did that all of a sudden. I think we should talk to the village elder first and see what he has to say about it. Okay. From my last time playing this game, I would estimate that we're about a quarter of the way through the game already. Yeah, that much. First chapter goes by pretty fast. I see you're all together. What brings you all here today? Are you here for a visit? No, not exactly. We're actually here on business. Although, if it's possible, I'd really like a glass of your fruit wine. Things in the world never go like you expect, do they? By the way, I never got a chance to ask you until now, but you don't happen to be one of Agate's companions, do you? Well, we're all members of the same guild, but we're not companions exactly. We know him by face, and that's probably about it. I see. So he's traveling by himself as usual, huh? The village elder closed his eyes for a moment, as a look of sadness passed over his aged features. What's wrong, sir? It's nothing, really. Please pardon my expression. Anyway, what brings you to this rural village of ours? Don't tell me that another dangerous monster showed up in the area. No, actually, we're in the middle of an investigation concerning the missing airliner. We came here because we heard there was a report of some kind of sighting. Ah, I see. The Royal Army came here and investigated that the other day. However, they searched around the area and ended up leaving empty-handed. Really? Is that so? Well, what about the person who saw the flying silhouette in the sky? It was one of the children in the village here, a boy named Louis. He apparently saw some suspicious shadow making its way across the sky on the night of the incident. But he's a kid any way you think about it, so he may have just imagined the whole thing while he was half asleep. Imagined it, huh? I guess the best thing we can do then is ask him directly. You're probably right about that. Thank you for your time, sir. Don't mention it. If there's anything else I can help you with, don't hesitate to ask. Let's go find this Louis kid. We ran into him earlier, right? He was, hanging out with some of his buddies. Is it you? No, you're the other one. You're Vince. Louis hasn't come over recently. I wonder if something happened. I think I know where he is. I think he's on, like, the edge of town somewhere. There we go. Being emotional out by the dock. Huh? I haven't seen you guys around here before. That's not true. We totally talked. Are you merchants here to buy fruit? Actually, no. We're here for a different reason. As a matter of fact, we're bracers. Bracers? You mean like agate? I don't know. You don't look all that strong to me. Especially because you're a girl. Why don't you tell me how you really feel? But after seeing my great skill with the staff, do you think you can still call me weak? Wow, that's amazing! It's like a tornado. I hope you've learned your lesson that looks can be deceiving. Now, how about another amazing demonstration with my staff? Estelle, be careful. Wasn't it just yesterday that you hit yourself in the face doing that? Anyway, are you Louis by any chance? Yeah. But how do you know my name? We heard from the village elder. He said you saw some kind of flying shadow. Do you think you could tell us a little bit more about what you saw that night? Sure, if you want. But the soldiers from the army already searched the place and didn't find anything. That's fine. We're not worried about that. Do you think you could just tell us what you saw? In as much detail as you can remember? Okay, I'll try. You see, I like watching the stars at night, so I often sneak out of my house at night to come here and look at the stars. And the other night when I was out here looking up at the stars, I saw two shadows moving across the sky. Now, hold on a minute. You say you saw two shadows? Yeah, that's right. And they were different sizes too, kind of like a mom leading a kid. Two shadows, two sizes. That's consistent with an airliner and the Sky Bandit airship, if you think about it. Yeah, the aircraft we ran across in the woods was definitely smaller than a typical airliner. And the two shadows just kept on flying north, until I couldn't see them anymore. So north is... There's a trail that continues behind the village, and it leads to an old septium mine which was abandoned some time ago. The soldiers from the army supposedly searched the trail, but didn't come up with anything. That's why they said I must have been just dreaming. And then they laughed at me like I didn't know what I was talking about. The little boy's eyes started to well up with tears. Enough of that. You're a boy, right? Boys don't cry. We're not like those stupid soldiers. We don't think you're telling a lie either, and we're going to prove it. Really? Darn straight. You just leave it to us. So no more crying, okay? Okay. You're a real nice person. As usual, she's got a knack with the kids. Yeah, maybe it's a virtue. Huh? Why are you looking at me like that? It's nothing. Let's focus on the task at hand. It looks like we've got stuff to do. Right. Let's hurry and get onto the trail behind the village and see what we can find. Alright, back onto the northern revenue trail. This time we're going to go all the way to the mine. If I can remember how to get there. There we go. You got to use that little shortcut on the N. Alright, back this way. And once again, no reason to go off to the right. That's like just dead ends. This area is a bit confusing though. Reason being, it's got all these little dead ends here. Think I'm going the right way. But yes, like I was saying, I think we're about a quarter of the way through the game. The first time I did it, it took 32 videos, and I think it's going to take less than that this time. I'm a bit better at really managing time. The gate is secured with a heavy chain and padlock. This looks like the entrance to an abandoned mine. It kind of reminds me of the Malcolm mine, except for the fact that it's all deserted. It seems that this place was abandoned quite some time ago. The padlock and chain are rusted. It doesn't look like this gate has been opened recently, which means that there's no possibility that the Sky Bandits entered through here. I wonder if that's why the army never investigated the place. You're probably not going to find any clues searching around in an old mine, that's for sure. What's wrong, Estelle? Maybe it's just me, but do you feel any air flowing out of here? When you say out of here, do you mean the mine? Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Joshua wet the tip of his index finger with his tongue and held it out. You're right, Estelle. It's rather subtle, but there is air flowing out of here. Just like I thought, huh? Sometimes your senses can be surprisingly sharp, you know that? I wonder if you get that from your father. My dad doesn't have anything to do with it. But forget about that. Aren't you more interested in what's inside this old mine? There's certainly a possibility that it connects to somewhere. It's probably worth checking out. Well, in that case, let's bust this lock off. Hey, don't you even think about doing that. For now, we'd better head back to the village and talk with the elder. He might have the key. You're no fun, Shara. Yeah, that really isn't fun. That means I have to go back the long way. Lame. We could have just broken the lock off, you know? Pretty sure Joshua could have done it. He's pretty strong. Pretty strong with those dual blades he's got. That's the thing every now and then. That's also a bit of a trope where sometimes in Japanese fiction people just slice locks off with swords and whatnot. I can think of at least one or two other occasions in this exact series where that happens. So the fact that we're doing this the hard way, a little weird. Where'd he go? Are you looking for my husband? Since it's this time of day, I'm sure he's up at the graveside on the hill. Graveside on the hill? Here we go. So this is where you are, Elder Ryson. Oh, it's you young bracers, is it? Well, this is a rather extravagant grave for a small village like this, isn't it? It was erected to mourn all those souls who were lost 10 years ago. Since the Bose region is nearest to the Empire, it was in the thick of the fray. And this village lost a number of good people in the hostilities. That's terrible. There is no need for you to get somber too, though. These days, cleaning this monument is just one of my daily routines. But I guess you wouldn't have come up here if you didn't think there was something I could help you with, right? Oh, that's right. There was something we wanted to talk to you about. But before that, would you mind if we paid our respects as well? I know we don't have any flowers to give, but we'd at least like to offer up a prayer. Oh, I see. No, of course I don't mind. I'm sure all those looking down from above would be overjoyed by the gesture. So you say there might be some clues in that old mine, huh? I don't know for certain that the soldiers didn't check inside. After I heard Louis' story, it really got me thinking. We'd like to check the place out just in case, so would you mind lending us the key to the entrance? The key for that padlock, huh? Give me a minute here. I'm sure I put it in this drawer. Oh, right, here it is. Okay, this should get you inside. Wow, this key looks ancient. Many thanks, Elder Ison. This will really help a lot. Don't mention it. We're always indebted to the Bracer Guild for their help. It's only natural that we would try and return the favor. Thank you. If everyone we dealt with were as cooperative as you, it would make our lives a lot easier. We'll be sure to let you know if we find anything. I would really appreciate that. Alright, back to the mine. I guess the whole reason they wanted you to go there, fail, come back, and talk to Elder Ison again, so you get a better idea of what Ravenu's been through. And that is that the 100 Days War 10 years ago, the war between Liberl and Arabonia in 1192, had a big, profound effect on Liberl, obviously. We already know that Estelle lost her mother because of the war. And shortly after that was when Cassius left the army and he became a bracer. But now we also know that Ravenu got hit very hard, naturally. This place is pretty darn close to the Empire, as you can see. So naturally, there's a lot of fighting here as well. The gate is secured with a heavy chain and padlock. Let's use this key we borrowed from the village elder. Phew, that was one heavy gate. Let's have a look inside, shall we? I don't know about sky bandits, but I can definitely sense monsters in here. Everyone stay alert. It's a heavy gate. A heavy agate. No, I don't deserve credit for that stupid, horrible pun. I'm pretty sure Xe wrote that in like a chess in second chapter or something. Something about a pun on agate saying being a gate. Stupid Xseed. Frickin' corrupting me with their dumb puns. Just avoid these crab monsters. They're kind of like the ones that we saw in the... Dude, I just went out through the frickin' entrance. Whoops. I should know my way around this place too. I've been through here a few times. As I say, these are like the ones we found in the Malcolm mine. Oh, right. I'm not as familiar with this layout as I thought I was. Oh, but I made it. Man, it's bright in here. Huh? Isn't that the... Quite a cell. It looks like we've hit the jackpot. There's the wind, along with the sky bandits. And their ship, too. Forget about the heavy things and focus on the food provisions and valuables. And hurry it up, will ya? It's only a matter of time before someone finds this place. Roger that. Got it, Kyle. Got it, Kyle. Understood, Kyle. What's an airliner doing in a place like this? I guess that kid wasn't seeing things after all. This looks like an area that used to be used for strip mining. It certainly turned out to be a great place to hide something of this size. Yeah, who would have thought to look here? Look at that. Are they loading the airliner cargo into their own ship? Let's worry about that later. We've got to figure out a way to back these guys before they get away again. So this is our third trip, huh? Man, Don can be a real slave driver sometimes. Oh well. Once this is all taken care of, we'll be able to sit back and negotiate a nice fat ransom. Hold it right there. Who in the... The scorching flames of justice shall never fade away, as long as evil thrives in this world. The League of Extraordinary Bracers has arrived. Huh? The League of what? You bonehead. Why do you always get carried away like that? What's with you two? Now I look like a big fool saying that stuff all alone. You're the ones who just said had a run-in with back in Roulette. This can't be right. You're not supposed to be here this early. It can't be right. We're not supposed to be here this early. What the heck are you talking about? In accordance with the laws of the Bracer Guild, you are hereby under arrest and charged with the hijacking of an airliner and its passengers. I hope for your sakes you'll come along quietly. Now hold on a minute. Are you going to tell me that only the three of you came here to arrest us? You seen anyone else, bandit boy? So you're not involved with the others then, huh? Then that simplifies things. Let's get them, boys! Alright, let's fight these guys. I could probably well, Joshua misses right away. You know what? I don't feel like doing this fight. Rip.
Alright, we're good to go.
Good job, Joshua. Ow! You guys are tougher than I thought. It's no wonder Josette got beat by you three. Sweet talk won't get you anywhere, buddy. It's time to surrender and let the passengers go. You really don't know anything, do you? What was that you called yourselves? League of the Exceptionally Dim or something? You making fun of my awesome team name? You're dead. Look out! What is this? You've got to be kidding me. Another smoke screen? It's too bad about the rest of the cargo, but we'll just have to live without it. Later, bracers. Ow, ow, ow. Some of it got in my eyes. Don't worry, it's not poisonous. Looks like it was a typical smoke canister. Their ship is already out of sight. This is getting really old. And it's not once, but twice now they've gotten away. If I get demoted for this at the guild, there's not much I can say in my defense. Oh, Shara, quit acting like it was all your fault. We're responsible for letting them get away too. If we've got time to kick ourselves over this, then there's got to be some other constructive things we can do. Well, well, you sound like you should be the senior bracer. Well, at least we were able to take back the airliner, so how about we have a look? The passengers may be inside. Right. Alright, let's get on there. The Lind. Completely cleaned out. They left the forklift, though. Wow, it's pretty bare in here. There's not a piece of cargo left. Evidently, the Sky Bandits managed to make off with it all. At least, judging by the looks of things. At any rate, we should do a thorough investigation of the place. Here's a lift car. It looks like the same type as those at the landing port. Sky Bandits probably used this to move the cargo. Let's see, anything else I can interact with in here? Oh yeah, this thing. I wonder what this is. It's the Orbital Engine Control Panel. It looks like the flow of orbital energy is completely stopped. Alright, so this thing's dead. How about over here? Well, they didn't take these barrels and this fruit. That's mostly decorative, though. It looks like this is the captain's seat. If these were any other circumstances, I would love to sit here. Don't even think about it. Here's the steering wheel used to pilot the ship. I wonder where the pilot could have gone. I think that's it for this room. Up we go. So this is where passengers sit. This is like first class, sort of. It's bright in here. There's a lot of light shining into this place. Great observation, Estelle. Like, what does that matter? And you could also stand on the outside of the airships. Doesn't look like there's anything on the deck, though. Alright, one more room. Doesn't look like I can interact with anything here. Alright, I think the story will advance at this point. If I go outside, maybe? Here we go. We checked it over, but it looks like there's nobody inside. There's a high possibility the passengers were transferred to the Sky Bandits airship. And then to wherever their hideout is. Agreed. But this sucks. Right when I thought we had some clues, we're back to zero. Come on, cheer up already. It's not like every clue has been completely vanished. Why do you think the Sky Bandits hid the airliner in a place like this? Huh? As far as I can tell, the orbital energy in the ship has completely stopped, which means that the orbital engine was stripped from the aircraft. I know this because the orbital energy in an orbment gradually recharges over time. Furthermore, the Sky Bandits made multiple trips to carry off a large amount of cargo. Considering the time and the risk involved, don't you think it would have been more effective just to take the entire airliner to their hideout? Yeah, that does seem a little odd that they didn't. So why'd they hide the airliner here then? All I can think of is that they did it in order to... I believe it would be, the final one. Yes, that's exactly right. From my guess, I would imagine that their hideout is in a slightly peculiar place. Maybe 10 to 15 arch in size. In short, a peculiar place on which only a small aircraft like the Sky Bandits airship could land. Interesting. How about terrain covered with extreme differences in height, like mountains and ravines? That seems like a likely place for the Sky Bandits hideout. Yes, that's what I've been thinking too. However, if that's the case, then we may be unable to do anything else. There's the possibility that their hideout may be in a place that we can't reach by foot. Then what can we do? Well, I hate to say it, but we may have to share our conclusions with the army and ask for their cooperation. Because they're the ones with the patrol ships. What? Now you're trying to tell us we should go crawling back to the army and ask them for help? Either way, we still have to report to them about the airliner. Personally speaking, I still think we should cooperate with the army, whatever their attitude may be. Especially if that means bringing the hostages back safe and sound. I guess you're right. This isn't the time or place to be letting my personal feelings get the best of me. For the time being, let's get back to the guild and report our findings to Lugren. We should be able to contact the Haken Gate if we use the orbital telephone. Now that brings up an interesting point. You probably already picked up on this, but in this game, there is no like mobile communications. We don't have an equivalent to cell phones, so we rely on landline phones, the orbital telephones at the guild branches. Well, isn't this great? Huh? What the heck? Great. Now this was something I did not expect. I wonder if we should be glad, since they saved us the trouble of having to contact them. We have found a suspicious armed group. Put your hands in the air, all of you. What is this world coming to? A woman and 2 kids are the Sky Bandits. Though the girl does look shifty. Hey now, that's just rude. And who are you calling Sky Bandits? Can't you see this shiny emblem on my chest? The bracer emblem, huh? I hope you don't think for a moment something like that proves your innocence. General Morgan? Why are you here? After looking over the reports of my men, I found this place to have been insufficiently investigated, so I came to see for myself. Who would have thought that the lot of you were conspiring with the Sky Bandits? Might I get you to stop with the accusations, General? We happen to find this place one step ahead of your men. If that's the truth, then why don't you tell me where the Sky Bandits are? Are the hostages inside that airliner? We almost had the Sky Bandits, but they managed to escape. And there are no hostages to be found here. Looks like the truth has come out. Most likely, you notified the Sky Bandits to let them know we were coming.
Oh, wait a minute here. How about you cut with the crap?
My thoughts exactly. Alright, men, take them into custody. What a dick. The general will be questioning you himself on the morrow. If your innocence is proven, then you'll be released in 2 or 3 days. So for the time being, this cell will give you a place to cool your heels.
This is not even funny. Tossing us in a place like this without even listening to a word we have to say?
If the army managed to arrest the Sky Bandits, then I'm sure we'd have our names clear. But with the way things are at the moment, that may not be possible.
Huh? Why not?
You remember what the Sky Bandit leader we fought in the old mine said, right? He said, "This can't be right. You're not supposed to be here this early," if I remember correctly.
Now that you mention it, he did say that, didn't he? You're not trying to tell me that he meant the army by that, are you?
I don't know for sure, but I would bet that's what he meant. Which means that the Sky Bandits have a mole in the army. Or a collaborator who is leaking information. That's what you wanted to say, isn't it, Joshua? Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, they'll never get caught. Which means we were the only ones that stood a chance of nabbing them. But now we're stuck in here. I wonder how your father would get around this little setback.
My. Well, don't you all seem to be in a bit of a fix?
Huh? Did you just say something, Joshua?
No, I didn't say anything. It came from the cell next door. It almost sounds familiar. Oh, how could you say something so heartless? My lustrous voice should be recognizable to anyone.
Could this unfounded self-confidence
and tone of absurd narcissism belong to?
It's you, isn't it, Olivier?
You do remember my dulcet chords. To think that we'd meet again in a place like this. It seems that we are bound by destiny.
Why are you here? I thought we took you to Bose. And now you're locked up in a place like this. What the heck did you do?
Come now, let's not worry about all the little details, shall we? I have my reasons, which are deeper than the deepest ocean and higher than the highest peak.
I'm definitely not asking now. I'm sure we'd just get tired while you talked our ears off.
What a coincidence, Estelle. I was thinking just the same thing.
So there you have it. We don't really care to know. You talk so much that I'd probably be an old woman by the time you were done, and I'm not ready for wrinkles yet.
Come on now, let's not be like that. I'll fill you in on all the details of the tragic incident which befell me.
Didn't you listen, dummy? We don't want to hear about it.
It all began after we parted ways. I did some window shopping in the Bose Market, and then moved on to the Antarose restaurant. You see, once I had eaten to my heart's content, I began to play the grand piano to then feed my artistic soul. And upon doing so, the restaurant manager was overcome by my skill. So I was asked to stay and work as the professional pianist for the restaurant.
That's great and all, but I thought you were supposed to be a lutist.
A musical genius is not limited to just one instrument. Anyway, back to my story. After negotiating a few of my own conditions, I accepted the job offer. Those conditions were, of course, food and wine for free every day instead of Mira. I don't know how to put it, but that's very you, Olivier. Yet I'm not sure how that has anything to do with you getting thrown in jail. Oh, well, this is where the real sob story begins. That night, I had been enjoying a plate of sautéed duck I had had the chef prepare, but the blood sauce which had been used was a little too overbearing for my palate. Consequently, I began to feel that normal red wine was not satisfying enough.
The more you talk, the more I want to hit you. But go on, I'm curious, in spite of knowing better.
Well, so I borrowed a bottle of wine which seemed good from the cellar. Something called Grand Chardonnay from the year 1183.
Grand Chardonnay? From the year 1183? That's the legendary vintage wine that was auctioned off in the Royal City.
Oh, aren't you well informed? I heard a rumor about it too, so of course I was interested in having a drink for it myself.
Auctioned off? How much are we talking about here? From what I heard, it went for somewhere in the neighborhood of 500,000 mira. 500,000 mira? For just one bottle? That's out of this world. And you didn't, did you, Olivier? Ah, such a needless question. Of course I opened the bottle and had a sip. Its sweet-smelling fragrance tickled my nostrils. Its luxurious, mellow taste caressed my throat. And can you believe what else? A rose-tinted vignette of time and space existed within that very bottle. I don't think I can listen to this any longer. Yeah, my ears are bleeding from listening to such stupidity. I'm completely dumbfounded. The sad thing is that after taking a sip of such excellent wine, I began to feel the food was lacking. And as I was having the chef cook me up something else to match the wine, the restaurant manager returned. Since I'm not a stingy fellow, I cordially invited him to join me for a drink. But for some odd reason, he got rather upset. In fact, he got so steaming mad that his face looked like a ripe tomato. And before I could say another word, a group of soldiers came filing in. And, well, one thing led to another, and I can't say another word about this tragedy of being dragged all the way here without coming to tears. So let us all weep together as you sympathize with my dilemma. Idiot. Pardon? But do my ears deceive me? I could have sworn I heard a zzz and a and even an assuredly misheard idiot coming from your cell. Are you listening? This is where the story really gets interesting. You see, several further trials awaited me after I was brought here. Hello? Are you listening? Oh, never change. Never change, Ollie. Hey, you three, get up. I'm tired. What's wrong? What? Are you trying to tell us we're being interrogated this early in the morning? That's a little early even for me. No, it's just the opposite. You're being released. Huh? Why all of a sudden? Is there a reason for this? Yes, I'd like to consider myself that reason. Mayor Maybell? Well, what an unusual place to be meeting you. I'm really sorry about everything that's happened to you. But don't worry, your names have been cleared. I don't completely agree with everything, but this is a request coming from Maybell herself. You'd better remember to thank her. So you mean Mayor Maybell stood up on our behalf? No, that's not exactly it. I just explained your situation to General Morgan. Our situation? Yes. I have one question for the both of you. Are you really the children of Cassius Bright? Yes, that's right. This is Estelle Bright, and I'm his adopted son, Joshua. I see. Now that you mention it, the girl does slightly resemble Lena. You knew my mother? Yes, I enjoyed your mother's cooking on several occasions when I visited your home in Relent. Why, in fact, we even met once when you were just a baby. Now wait a minute. You're a personal acquaintance of my dad's? I knew that he was in the military before, but I don't know Cassius Bright the Bracer. The only Cassius I know is the one from the service. He was a rare strategist. Strategist? Dad? I just can't imagine what he saw in the Bracer Guild. It makes me angry just thinking about it. You'll have to excuse me. What's wrong with him? It seems like your father was a brilliant officer in the military. I've heard from General Morgan that he tried several times to get your father to change his mind about retiring. I didn't know that. Somehow it feels hard to believe. However, if that's the case, the General's hatred for bracers may stem from Cassius leaving the army. From the vexation of being left by one of his most promising men. I get the same impression. So what you're saying is, our lives are such a pain because of Dad. That dirty, rotten scoundrel. How about we return to Bose now? With the airliner being found, the situation has taken a new turn. So there are a number of things I'd like to discuss with you. Oh, sure. Is something the matter? I'm definitely ready to get out of here, but it feels like we're forgetting something. Now that you mention it, what could it be? Oh, how callous people can be at times. Why would he still have his loot on him? How could you forget about a companion who spent the night with you in a cold, hard cell? How lamentable, how pitiful. Fine, be that way. I shall wither away friendless and hungry, alone in this dark purgatory. Is he still here? Yeah, I completely forgot about him. I'm sorry to say this, but there's not much we can do for you. Is he the musician I heard about? The one who chugged that bottle of Grand Chardonnay without a second thought? Ha, indeed, that is I. Yet, my fair lass, I would be heartbroken if you took my intentions the wrong way. For you see, I perceived it as an advance payment for the exquisite services that I was about to render. You're quite the interesting character. Alright, I'll see what I can do to bargain with the general for your release. Really? Truly? You would do such a kind service for a man such as myself? I think that may be asking a bit much. If the restaurant takes this to trial, there's going to at least be a lawsuit. Well, there's no need to worry about that. You see, the owner of the restaurant is me. Huh? And the Grand Chardonnay was the very one I bid on. That being the case, I'm fairly confident there won't be any other problems over the matter. I can't believe you were released. It's like a stroke of bad luck. Ha ha ha. Please don't lay on the compliments so thick. However, it pains my soul that I partook of such a fine wine without paying a single mira. Shall I play the piano in the restaurant per our contract to remedy that? I think I'm going to have to pass on that. After what happened, I think it would be a bit awkward having you back there. I, for one, don't think he'd mind a bit. Yeah, he sure does seem to have some thick skin. Let's just think of this as an unfortunate incident for the both of us. But I don't think I can just let things go like this. Let's see. It seems like you're investigating something at the moment, right? How about I lend my assistance in return for the wine? Huh? Well, that does sound interesting. Could I ask you to join these bracers in their work? Huh, could you ever? So it's settled. Let our new working relationship bloom like a magnolia at the height of spring. Hold on a sec. What did we do to deserve this? Your general weirdness aside, simply having an amateur like you around is honestly going to be a pain. Are you confident that you won't be a drag on our work, or our sanity? Well, I am somewhat confident in my marksmanship and magic, but of course, I'd be distressed if you tried to list my music genius in the same group. That's the kind of line that gets me really worried. But maybe we could use an extra hand. As long as we can't count on the army to help us out, I have the feeling that we'll be short on manpower. Well, alright then. We'll use you for what you're worth. However, if we do happen to conclude that you're not worth your weight, you're dumped from the party. Are you going to be okay with that? Haha, of course! I don't mind. I'd never let you down, so please be rest assured. Well, my expectations of you are pretty much at rock bottom anyway, so I know you won't let me down. I'm glad things are settled between you all. But before you go, there's something I need to tell you. Tell us? Actually, the town did seem pretty noisy as we were headed here. What happened? Truth be told, last night there was a large-scale burglary in Bose's South Block. The weapon shop and Orbal factory were targeted, as were a number of private residences. What? So, was this the work of the Sky Bandits? It's unknown at this time, but it seems highly probable. A unit of the Royal Army is currently conducting an investigation. I see. Guess we'd better do an investigation of our own then. Yes, I'd like to formally request that you do just that. I'll send a payment over to the guild for the work you've done so far. Please make use of the money for your current investigation expenses. I have a feeling that the army is going to get in our way again, but I guess when that happens, it happens. Whether they get in our way or not, I don't think we should be forthcoming with the army about any information that we come across. Because if there's really a spy in their midst, they'll just leak it to the Sky Bandits. Though I'm reluctant to say it, I also think it's for the best to keep things quiet about our findings. Anyway, let's act with prudence.
Alrighty, my bosom companions. Shall we head to the South Block?
Look, buddy, who made you the king of the show?
Ha ha ha. Yeah, now we got Ollie for an extended period of time. I will be building his Orbment up at the start of the next video. For now... Oh, we got something new, the stolen ring. So I need to talk to Lana about this. She's on the South Block, in the South Block. I talked to Lugrin and report the request I did. You received payment for your Mayor Maybell for your investigative efforts thus far. Does that count the other ones though? No, it did not. Okay, cool. There we go. So I think that's everything thus far. I need to create a save file. There's a upcoming chapter of Carnelia. Our 4th chapter is in the not too distant future. And I want to make sure I don't miss it. But for now... Actually, I could try to get it right now, but this might not be the time window just yet. We might be a little bit early. Yeah, maybe. Wait, let me talk to this guy. I sure wish the owner would take better care of the antique books. Maybe I should go put in a word or two about that. He might give it to me later, I'm not sure. I think it's someone that hangs around that book stand. They'll have chapter 4. But for now, let's go into the Bose block. I mean, the South Block of Bose. I can't believe these sky bandits managed to circumvent our search. I just walked right into town and burglarized a bunch of places. We were really outdone this time. Yeah, you were. Whoops, didn't mean to try to leave. I guess we should talk to residents. So, whoops, let me look at the map. Alright, let's go over here first. So this is a home. Oh, right. Some of these soldiers are gonna get in our way, so I have to find people who aren't occupied. This is one of the rather more annoying investigations in the series. They're very particular about the order in which you do things here. How about you guys? I was shocked when I heard about the South Block being hit by burglars. Mirano's mother was here alone, you see. Fortunately, this house was untouched in the burglaries. But it's at times like this that it makes you feel uneasy when there's no man at home. I'm just glad that Mirano brought Simon over to watch the house. There's an upstairs too. Oh, are you the woman? Now we've got burglars running amok in the city. I swear, what's happening to Bose? I'm just glad they left this house alone. Though I'm baffled as to why. They certainly didn't do their homework on this city. No, you're not the woman I'm looking for. What's her name? Stolen ring from Lana. Alright, so that spit me out over there. It's a rather big building. Alright. That's where I came from. And what's in this room? Can't read that book. Maybe I'm supposed to be actually interacting with these soldiers so that, like, the party gets frustrated and they're like, oh, freaking army's in our way. Screw you, Royal Army. They won't even let you talk to the NPCs at all. Okay, let me just pause here and I'm gonna figure out what I need to do to advance things. Maybe I have to walk to a certain area, I don't know. Alright, there is something I'm missing. Let's pop into the Orbal factory. I was too focused on the actual residencies. I forgot that Niall and Dorothy are here. Hey, this one turned out really cute. Niall, is this how you wanted this one? Yeah, sure, something like that. However, we really got screwed, you know that? Good afternoon. Are you working on another story? Looks like you two are on the trail of a scoop again. Hey, it's you kids. Oh, Estelle and Joshua. Boy, am I glad to see that they let you out of the clinker. Yeah, I heard all about you kids getting arrested by the army up at the old mine. You certainly had me worried. Why are you acting like you had nothing to do with it? It was your info that led us to the village. Hey now, what kind of face is that? Don't tell me you blame us. Did you go back and check out the abandoned mines yourselves?
Yeah, we did yesterday. But it was after all you had already been hauled off.
We could have had a really great shot of your arrest had we been there. It really guts me that we missed such a perfect opportunity for a great shot.
I swear, you people in the news business. But anyway, I was wondering if you thought this looked like the handiwork of the Sky Bandits.
Sure looks that way to me. Seems that the army is sniffing around for clues too. But to be honest, it looks like there's nothing to be found here anymore.
I see. That does make things a bit more difficult.
Well, Mr. Reporter, why don't you let me ask you this then? Do you know from whence the Sky Bandits entered town? According to witness statements, they were seen leaving through the west gate. Well, that's awfully strange. The mayor's residence and Bowes Market are right through the west gate, and it seems like attacking those two places would be far more lucrative. When you put it that way, that makes a lot of sense. But if you don't mind me asking, who the heck are you anyway?
I'm glad you asked. I'm Olivier Lindheim, a wandering bard and gifted musician.
I'm sure you've heard the rumors about me, right?
Oh, right! You're the guy who drank wine without paying at that classy restaurant. It takes guts to stiff such a big bill. It's an honor to meet you, sir.
Haha, you're making me blush. I'm ready for my interview anytime, so don't hesitate to ask.
Wow, really? I'm getting a headache just listening to this crap.
These two are very much alike. I'm not even going to ask how this guy wound up with the rest of you.
That would be for the best.
Who are you?
Carrie. Wow, it looks like the burglars made off with nearly everything. I could have sworn that my boss locked up last night.
And she works here. Alright, maybe
there's probably still some important information we haven't gathered. We should continue to ask around a bit longer and see what we come up with.
Is that... Oh, that staircase leads to the north. Whoops. Kinda got lost there for a second. Here we go. Hey, you there.
What? Is something wrong?
I thought I'd better give you a word of advice. Even if you are representing the mayor, at the end of the day, you are all still civilians. We cannot have you wandering around here in the middle of our investigation.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Your advice seems rather more like a threat. I'm just saying you need to know your place. But if you're so adamant about investigating the matter, then do it after we've cleared out of here. If we get any more trouble out of you, then I'm going to have to give you a personal invitation to jail.
Forget about it, Estelle. There's no use arguing with these gentlemen.
Huh, for an ass in lion skin. You sure know how to throw your weight around, Mr. Soldier. What did you just say? May I ask what's going on here? Colonel! For a soldier in the prestigious Royal Army to be threatening our good citizens, that is an outright embarrassment to us all. But these aren't just civilians, sir. They're members of the Bracer Guild. Oh, is that so? Then I ask you once again, what is going on here? The army is supposed to be working closely with the guild. What do you intend to accomplish by being rude to our allies? But as far as the general is concerned... yes. That side of the general really concerns me. I'll take over the investigation from here, so please take your men and clear out. But sir... Your men have been here since early this morning, so I presume that a sufficient investigation has been conducted by now, yes? I'll smooth things over with the general later. Is there anything else you wish me to address? No, sir. Alright, men, pack it up, or return you to the Hawken Gate. It looks like that's that. It seems that some of our personnel were rather impolite. Allow me to apologize.
I appreciate the gesture. But we made some slightly inflammatory remarks as well. So how about we let bygones be bygones?
That suits me just fine. As I stated before, the army is supposed to be working closely with the guild. I think the two organizations working together grants us each the ability to make up for the other's shortcomings. I'm looking forward to any progress you make with this recent series of events.
Thank you. We'll do what we can. He seems like a decent guy.
Yeah, I wonder who he is.
Colonel, it's almost the appointed time.
Oh, already? Excuse me, but it appears I must take my leave. Oh, but before I do, it looks like I haven't properly introduced myself. I'm Alan Richard, a colonel in the Royal Army. If there's anything I can do to assist you, please don't hesitate to contact me.
Colonel Richard? I feel like I've heard that name somewhere before.
Niall was the one who mentioned his name earlier. He said something about him being a sharp young officer who leads the Royal Army's intelligence division.
Oh, right. Wow, for someone in the military, he sure knows how to listen to others. Probably in his mid-30s, and he's not hard on the eyes either. He seems like he's more fit to be a politician than a service member in the army.
Hey, you guys! Who was that you were just talking to in the black uniform? I could swear I've seen him somewhere before.
Are you trying to tell me that you didn't recognize him at all? That was Colonel Richard of the Intelligence Division. You know, the guy you mentioned earlier.
What? You're not pulling my leg, are you?
As fun as that would be, nope.
He said so himself, so I'm fairly confident he is who he says he is. To think that the legend himself would show up here. We can't wait around here like this any longer, Dorothy. Let's see if we can catch up to him.
Aye, aye, sir. Although I'm really not sure of why we're chasing after anyone. Did you see his eyes light up? I wonder if he's going to do an interview or something. Anyone else in the army would brush him off, but I'm sure the colonel will oblige him. What's the matter with you, Olivier? You look serious, and I gotta say, I find it creepy coming from you.
I was just thinking about the colonel. I'll be the first to admit that he's quite the specimen of a man. But what? I can say with confidence that he doesn't stand a chance against me when it comes to the ladies. But I'd like to see him try just a little harder. It's no fun without a romantic rival.
You just had to ask, didn't you, Joshua?
I'll regret it for the rest of my life.
Alright, let's see here. Now that the soldiers are gone, how about we resume our investigation? Let's start by talking to all the people we couldn't talk to earlier. Good idea.
Yeah, that's Colonel Alan Richard, who Niall told us about, the captain of the Royal Intelligence Division. Let's see. How about here? Talk to this guy. There were some burglaries around here yesterday. Seems like my mom saw the culprits too. The army was just asking about it until just a little while ago. By the goddess. First an airliner goes missing and now we've got a bunch of burglaries. I wonder what it'll be next. The Cecilia resuming flights is about the only good thing happening. Although as long as the international lines of the Empire don't reopen, we merchants can't reopen our business. The Cecilia is one of Liberl's signature airships, just like the Lind.
I got a real surprise last night. When I went to open the window and let in some fresh air, there was some masked man staring right in at me. And he wasn't alone either. There were a bunch of others with him.
Let's see. So we need to go in here. Alright, this is the house that didn't get robbed. How about this one? Oh, you must be my quest woman. Or not, I don't know.
Oh, dear me. Weren't you the bracers who came to ask questions not that long ago? Oh, right, we did come before. I'm really sorry I couldn't talk to you then. So what you came to ask about is what happened last night, right?
Yes, that's right. Is this a good time for you?
Yeah, this is as good a time as any. It was the middle of the night, you see, when I heard a noise coming from outside. And I, of course, thought it was my husband coming home at such a late hour, so I opened the door and started yelling. But it turned out to be a group of masked men coming out of the Orbal factory across the road. I thought my heart was plumb gonna stop right then and there, although it turned out that the burglars were rather surprised and ran away to the north. I see. So it was the Sky Bandits, huh?
So what you're saying then is that the house didn't incur a loss of any kind?
Yeah, thanks to the mercy of the goddess. Can I ask you another thing? Did your husband coming home late mean that he went to the bar? If it was only that, that would be forgivable. In addition to being a no-good drinker, he's obsessed with this.
Cecile raised her hand in a casting motion.
Oh, I get it. You mean fishing, right? I see now. That's right. He loves fishing more than life itself. Just yesterday he said something about catching some smelt and took off to the lake in the south. And on top of that, he still hasn't come back. So what you're saying is he doesn't know anything about the incident? That's exactly what I'm saying. And when that good-for-nothing husband of mine gets home, he's going to get what for, let me tell you.
Hi, honey. I'm home. Ooh, what a day I had. I was fishing patiently all morning, but I have nothing to show for it. Oh, what's this? Do we have guests?
You senile old man.
Oh, my goodness, woman. What kind of fiery tempest has got into you? Don't you know how it's rude to act like that in front of guests?
If anyone's being rude, that would be you. I'm dumbfounded that my own husband can just take off to do what he likes at a time like this.
Huh? What do you meant by a time like this?
Maybe I should explain.
Joshua gave Mr. Kawano a brief explanation regarding the burglaries which transpired the previous night. Burglaries by sky bandits? You don't say. Now that is terrible. But to think that they hightailed it out of here after my wife hollered at them is hilarious. Guess they got to experience the Cecile effect firsthand.
What did you just say? Let's all calm down now, shall we?
But to think that these sky bandits came in the night like they did and then just disappeared like that. I wonder if it has anything to do with that thing he was talking about the other day.
He? What do you mean?
Oh right, you don't know him. He is my fishing buddy. He's staying at the inn down the lake shore to the south. If I remember right, he said something about seeing a strange bunch near the place the other night.
A strange bunch? Now this sounds really interesting. Can you tell us a little more about what you've heard?
Sure, I don't mind, but I'm just going to tell you up front that this is all hearsay. From what I heard, he just happened to see them by chance as he was out fishing during the night. He saw them leave by way of the inn's front door and then out onto the road. However, when he asked around at the inn in the morning, it turned out that no one like that had stayed there the night before.
Yeah, that's rather odd. So, was there any type of burglary at the inn?
No, nothing of the sort at all, in fact. It's quiet there, the meals are great, and it's, well, a place I'd recommend to anyone. But best of all, it's a prime fishing spot.
Though there weren't any definitive clues related to the incident, we did manage to hear a few interesting bits.
I concur. I especially liked the one that described all the delicious food at the inn.
That's not what we're talking about here. Although I did find the fishing part to be rather interesting. Unfortunately, if there's nothing going on there, then I guess it wouldn't be worth investigating.
Actually, I think it's quite the opposite. If someone had been careless and caused a problem, the army would have thoroughly investigated it. Conversely, the possibility of the sky bandits appearing where there's nothing happening is rather high.
Oh, well, I guess that's one way to think about it. And in light of this series of incidents, there's either a spy in the army, or the sky bandits are a really clever bunch of thieves. It'll be extremely difficult to corner them only by investigating the incidents which have occurred. We'll need to get one step ahead of them by tracking their movements. I see. So what you're saying is that we should take an offensive stance rather than a defensive one?
Then how about we get going? Off to the beautiful Valeria Lake, extolled in many, a rhyme as the pearl of Liberl. Oh, shut up. Shut up. Now might be the time to, pick up that new chapter of Carnelia. So let me check in over here. There's also, the side quest person. Yeah, here we go. This should do it. I came here to buy the next chapter in the novel series I've been reading, but it's still not out, but it's still not in yet. Once I've read a book, I almost never read it again. Anyway, I'm done with this one, so you can have it. Thanks. The lady who owns the shop recruited me to work here not that long ago. I wonder if she hired me because I was always putting in my thoughts about her merchandise. And back to the South Block we go. How about we find the resident who had their ring stolen? Maybe the far right house? Here we go. I had a very important ring taken by them. I don't care if it's the army or the Bracer Guild.
I just want to see those burglars caught. If these sky bandits are on the loose, I don't think I can live without being in fear every day.
Okay, there's really no conversation to be had with her. We just have to get her ring. And that's something I can do. Although I'm going to have to be a little bit careful in looking for it. I have to be a bit more thorough than I've been thus far. Exploring like dungeon areas and whatnot. Alright, let's stop here. We'll save. When we pick up next time, we'll head down to Valeria Lakeshore. Don't think there's anything else to do, given that this is the only quest we have. So we're very close to the end of this chapter. See you guys in the next one.